Hi. I'd like to just briefly talk about a movie called Eastern Promises starring Viggo Mortensen. Well, I was personally a little bit reluctant to go watch it for a couple of reasons. First of all I knew about the movie prior watching it is that it was about Russian mob functioning in UK, and that non-Russian actors were speaking English with considerably heavy Russian accent, and that there was quite a bit of Russian dialogue in the movie. Well, it so happened that I'm familiar with the language, and I personally find it incredibly irritating when non-Russians pretend to speak Russian, because what comes out is so not legible and butchered that I can hardly handle it. And also, I thought it was going to be a movie about, Hollywood version of Russian crime world that we've seen oh so many times in movies, all the cliches and all the stereotypes and all. So, wasn't quite looking forward to it. But then I saw the movie. Well, I gotta say that I was absolutely blown away by performances, by the acting in this movie, and you can tell that all the actors did their homework, because Russian language, the speech was, not only was it legible, but some of the nuances of the speech I, as a viewer, incredibly just appreciated. And for non-Russian speakers, I gotta say that even though most of the movie is spoken with really heavy accent, I don't think it's gonna get on the way of you enjoying the movie, because first of all, the dialogue is very good. Secondly, the script is, I think, rather plain. It's very simple, but the exploration of characters is worthy of being noted. I mean, some very deep and rich characters, and all of them, the performances were extraordinary. I gotta say about the script, the movie started very well. The storyline went through most of the movie just top notch, and unfortunately towards the end, and we've seen it oh so many times, where it starts good, the middle is great, and then it just finishes a little bit, yeah. Probably one of the only shortcomings of the movie was the ending. It just finished and you are left with the impression of, huh? Another thing I gotta say about the movie is that when they rated it R, they were not kidding. In fact, I don't think that anybody under age of 18 should be watching this movie. I've talked about choreography of fight scene in my previous blogs, and this movie just goes to prove that when people know what they're doing, if they're passionate about their work, if they're professional, it is extraordinary to what new levels they can take their art to. Because there is a fight scene in this movie that is happening in a steam room. In fact, I will not go into any details, because I'm sure it's not only is it going to become famous, it's actually going to become infamous. It's going to be one of those fight scenes people refer to when talking about crime thrillers down the road and compare. Bottom line, it's been taken to a whole new level, and I was watching it like a typical girl, like this, because it was just a bit too brutal for me to handle it. Extraordinary, really. And in fact, I noted while watching it that though this is a crime thriller, right, there was no car chase. and no gunfight, and nothing was being, no buildings blowing up, no car explosions. What a subtle performance. And the brutality and the fight were placed in such specific kind of places in the movie that through and through you can definitely say it was a thriller. And I also got to talk about Viggo Mortensen, because that man poses a great danger to me. Not only is an extraordinary actor, but he is a poet and artist and photographer and musician and man of peace, a man of renaissance. So I'm always in awe of his work. And when I saw him in this role, I immediately went home and I did a little bit of online research, and it appears that preparing for this role, he by himself went to Russia without speaking any of the language, without a translator, and he lived there and he explored the culture. And in his performance, there are such subtle nuances of Russian character that I was just absolutely blown away. Unreal. Bottom line is, if you appreciate crime thrillers, I think it's absolutely worthy of watching it. And I would give it 3.5 stars out of 5, and not 5 only because of the ending. Ending was a bit too weak, I think, and but otherwise, what a movie. And I can't say that personally I loved it and I'll be watching it again. I am a girl after all, a bit too brutal for me, but definitely boys movie, and a surprise. So watch it, and I hope you enjoy it.